Chonsky.
Let me guess. We have to go somewhere.
The Melville Port in Brooklyn.
We see.
Hi.
Police again? What do you want now? I've already answered your questions.
I'm not a police officer.
No? Then who are you? You're not one of those dumb journalists. You're always looking for conspiracies and scandals everywhere, are you?
I'm a private detective.
Well, I don't care who you are. You'll find a way to bug me anyway, right?
I guess so. Anyway, I just have a few questions to ask you. What do you know about what happened here tonight?
I know that one guy bumped off another guy, and he picked this port to do it. That's what I know, as I told the police over and over again.
You don't seem too surprised by what went on.
It's not the first time, and it won't be the last that someone gets bumped off around here.
Has it happened before?
He just said
You
that.
could set your watch by it, just like my rheumatism. This port has its share of some of the worst scumbags in New York, and sometimes we even manage to get a few troublemakers from out of town. Once they even found a Chicago police lieutenant drowned under one of the piers.
A well-attended place, I'd say.
It wasn't always like this. In the good times, the port was the apple of the eye of Brooklyn's commercial activity.
What are you doing here?
It's the same question that I'm asking myself. I was woken up in the middle of the night by a call from the police who ordered me to close the port due to an investigation.
So you were the port manager?
You could say that. Actually, I'm the only one here. I'm the port manager, the secretary, and even the cleaning crew.
Why did they make you close the port?
The police decided to close the entire port until they complete their investigation, and I have no way of knowing how long it will take. So I have to call the captain of every ship headed here and tell him that he has to unload at Kips Bay instead of here.
If the port is closed, like you say, I doubt you'll have a lot of work to do.
I don't care about the boats, but tomorrow the good Lewis was supposed to disembark with my good Chilean friend that brings me some of the best grog I've ever had. Now I'll have to wait more than a month to see him, and I finished my last bottle last week.
If I want some information, the grog seems a good way to bribe him. Tell me about the port.
It was the beginning of the century. New York felt like it was the capital of the whole world. I was just a young sailor with a few dollars in my pocket and no reason to stay on the mainland. The port owner was old Svensson, a Swede who seemed anything but a sailor. In fact, he couldn't have told you the difference between a swordfish and a canister of gasoline. But he knew business. Oh yes, he knew it all right. That guy transformed this place into one of the most important hubs on the East River in just 3 years.
This port doesn't seem like a place where a lot of ships could dock.
You shouldn't look at it now. Half of the port is now demolished and sold. Once there were more than 10 piers. Now there are only a couple. Old Svensson had them build huge ones, so that even the biggest fishing ships could dock.
Why was part of the port sold?
It's a long story. During the port's most active years, I worked at the harbor master's office. An accident involving my right leg stopped me from sailing for a few months. Since I was one of the few who could read or write, I was put in charge of handling port procedures. Everything seemed to go fine, business was good, but Svensson started to change over time. I'm not saying that he looked like one of us, but he started to lose that look of a king that he had when he got here. And he started getting strange visits. Then one day in April 1926, John Grenz, known as the Ace of Spades, found his body floating near the mooring right near his office. The police said that it was a suicide, but none of us believed it. Old Spence had been neglecting himself, okay, but he still had the will to live. The funeral had barely happened when a certain crony, some fat, half-Italian, half-Turkish guy, took over for old Svensson. Within a year, he sold part of the port and fired half of us. I was the only one to keep my job, and I became the harbor master.
Fascinating story, but something doesn't make sense. The recession has shut down businesses that were a lot stronger than this little port. How have you managed to survive this long?
You're quick on your feet, son. The answer is simple. Cruises to freedom.
Cruises to freedom?
Right. If someone wants a change of scene without anyone knowing, this is his ticket to freedom.
You mean that criminals can illegally escape from this port?
You can do the math. I learned not to ask questions.
Did you see a man with a girl tonight?
It looks like you know more than you pretend to, son.
So have you seen a little girl?
Sorry, but I can't give you any information about who leaves from the port. It's the rules.
Did you let a man named Ford board?
No way, son. The rules are rules. I can't say anything about the people who leave from here.
Come on, don't mess around. Tell me what you saw tonight.
I'm telling you, the rules say that I can't give out any information about the people who leave from here.
I don't need anything else.
Good luck, son.
The police sealed the port. Yes, I'd better call the police. Hello, operator? It's pointless. There's no line.
Ah, you again. Where we go this time?
Essex Street, Lower East Side.
Okay.
Hi, Greta.
Hi, Jack.
Do you have a bottle of grog?
Grog? Did you decide to drive the last nail in your liver's coffin?
It's not for me, and it would take too long to explain why I need it.
As usual. Anyway, I don't think I have any grog. No one drinks that stuff. But if you feel like, you can check. There might be a few old bottles on the first shelves, the ones closest to the mill.
I'll take a look. Thanks. Okay.
Bye, Jack.
Let's see if Greta has a bottle of grog on these shelves. I don't see anything that looks like grog.
New York.
Can you
What's the number? Whatever you want.
Bye. Hi, Greta.
Hi, Jack.
Okay.
Bye.
Let's see if Greta has a bottle of grog on these shelves. I don't see any. Steal money from a joint's till? I don't think that it would. I should be able to find Moore's number in the phone book. Let's see if I can find Moore. I just remembered the last name, but he had a pretty unusual first name. I'll remember it if I see it written. No, that's not the Moore. Violetta Moore. That's the name. What kind of name is Violetta for a guy? Anyway, his number is 555-4897. I hope he's still alive. This guy has a real knack for getting into trouble.
New York off.
Can you dial
What's the number?
Violetta Moore, 555-4897.
Coming up.
Hello?
Am I speaking with Violetta Moore?
You're talking with his ghost. It's the middle of the night. Who the hell is calling at this hour?
I'm Del Nero, the detective that...
Del Nero. Old son of a gun.
I see you still remember me.
Hell, you saved my skid in that story with the syndicates a few years ago. How could I forget you, old buddy? How you doing?
Same old.
Bottle in the hand and bills to pay, huh?
More or less.
You must have a good reason to call in the middle of the night.
I need some information.
Well, you called the right number. You give me a name and I'll tell you all about the skeletons in his closet.
Do you know an organization called Black Lily?
Damn, you don't mess around. It's better not to step on those guys' toes if you don't want to find yourself neck-high in shit.
What do you know about them?
Black Lily is one of the strongest mafia families in Los Angeles. In the mid-1920s, they started to grab power when the other families were busy fighting amongst themselves. They figured out that the time of gangsters armed with Thompsons was winding down, and they started to make headway corrupting and forming alliances with politicians. No contrabands or killings. They got what they wanted with cold, hard cash. In Los Angeles, they say that Black Lily doesn't kill you. It just steals your soul.
Do you have any names for me?
How many do you want, bud? The head of the organization is a certain Tommaso Venanzi, one of your compatriots. But don't think of him as a classic Italian-American gangster. Venanzi is an attorney and he comes from a good family. He's smart enough to know that greasing the right hand is worth more than 1,000 armed men.
And who greases those palms in New York for him?
A half-Canadian called Samuel Cutter. He's an attorney too, if I remember correctly.
Samuel Cutter. I think I've already heard that name before.
You definitely read about him in the papers. He was tried for the murder of 4 policemen a while ago. Came out of it as clean as a baby's ass when it gets off the changing table. But he made a mistake. He underestimated the value of the public opinion.
What do you mean?
Cutter bought off everyone at that trial, even the court usher. But the press figured it out and started to ask questions. Nowadays, the right headline in the paper sends more heads rolling than the guillotine during the French Revolution. The palms Cutter greased pulled away because they were afraid of a scandal and left him all alone. Greasing palms is a good strategy, Jack, but you always need to remember that you're dealing with people who hide behind their business card.
What happened to Cutter?
That's the best part. Cutter was found innocent at the first trial, but there was another one a few months later, and it didn't turn out as well for him.
Did he go to jail?
Yeah, he was locked up, and then he was shut up. They found him in his cell with a knife in his back. This sent the entire organization here in New York crumbling down, and with it all the speculations about the involvement of politicians in white-collar crime came to an end.
So they all saved their faces.
That's right, Jack. Cutter's death was as fortunate as it was suspicious.
Well, at least I have a name now. Samuel Cutter. And if he has ever been arrested before, I'm sure that the police archives will have a nice file about him. I'd better go there. Do you know anything about a guy called the Turk?
No, pal, this name doesn't tell me anything. But it doesn't sound like someone you should get too chummy with.
Definitely not. Did you ever hear the name Sean McLean?
Sean McLean? No, pal, nothing. Never heard of him.
Loud.
Thanks for the information, Moore.
No problem, pal. If you need anything, call day or night.
Oh, it's sort of getting interesting.
What can I do?
Why is...
Problem?
Did you...
Nah, the boiler is
Until... Goodbye.
goodbye.
Yeah, I'm gonna get fucking wasted tonight.
Let me guess.
The police
We see.
Hi, officer.
How can I help you?
I'd like...
Listen,
The police archives could be a good place to look for information on this Samuel Cutter that Moore was talking about. I'm sure that there's a nice thick file on him in here. Tell me why I should go...
'Cause I told you to.
I won't get too far. There aren't any knobs or locks. No. One of the many desks. I don't see anything. I don't see... Why? I wonder. Where... I don't see... Hi, officer.
how can I help you?
I have some questions about your files.
What do you want to know?
How can I get in?
Simple. A signature on a form and 9 months of police academy. Buddy, access to the files is reserved to police officers. No badge, no access.
What's that device next to the door?
They put it here a few months ago. Old Sam, who managed the archives, retired. And rather than bringing in another officer, the department replaced him with this thing.
How does it work?
Every officer has a special punch card. When they go into the archives, they just take out the card and swipe it through this machine. The machine recognizes the officer and opens the archive's door.
So every officer has his own card. Victoria will definitely have one. I don't have it.
Better.
Goodbye.
Good.
Well, I don't see any other option. Dannazione. The lock just reset. I have to start over. Map of New York and a few old photographs of Mexico, Victoria's native country. No, I didn't come. I have the same. The desk drawers. It's too dark to. I don't see how. A code rack. It doesn't make any. No, I.
Turn the lights on, fool.
There's a sign on the desk. Victoria Diaz, Police Sergeant. I don't see.
Oh, the flashlight. Great.
Yes, let's see if I can find this damned access card for the archives. There's some kind of combination that locks the last drawer.
Oh, Mexico. No? There we go.
The combination was the Mexican flag, Victoria and her sentimentality. The advertisement of a ferry company that connects Manhattan to Glen Cove. Maybe that's where Malone sent Victoria. The card to get into the archives. I'll take it. I hope that Victoria doesn't get upset if I take her card for a while. As they say, open sesame. When I was a police officer, this was Old Sam's station. He handled the archive. He knew the location of every file by heart. You told him the name of a guy, and he could tell you which rack and shelf it was on. He was a good man whose job was to file murder and assault reports. I don't see any... New York police. You can trust us. I didn't trust the police when I was an officer. Imagine now that I'm accused of murder. Interesting. If you put the name of the person you're looking for in this sort of calculator, you get the number of his file. I wonder what old Sam would think if he knew he'd been replaced by this gadget. There isn't a file on Sean. It probably wasn't filed yet.
Damn it.
No file with this name.
Oops.
Samuel Cutter's file is 6120057. I should remember it. All the files on the people, everyone has a 7-digit number. Without the ID number of the file I need. I don't... All the files, everyone... Folder 6120057. Samuel Cutter. Here you are, Samuel Cutter. Samuel Cutter. Attorney, jailed on May 7th, 1933 for the murder of 4 police officers. It's not a good idea. It's a summary of the trial where Cutter was accused of murdering 4 police officers. The verdict was unanimous, innocent, due to lack of evidence. In this city, your innocence is proportionate to how good your lawyers are. Cutter's lawyers must have been the best on the block. Here's the report on Cutter's incarceration. It looks like it's the work of that snake, Malone. Like Moore said, after his arrest, many others from Black Lily were arrested too, definitively dismantling the organization. The boss and his crew were arrested, and then there was peace. Not even the movies have such happy endings. Patrick Olson's name is among those of the people who were arrested. That's the same name Victoria mentioned when she was talking about the case in which Sean's name came up. Patrick Olson's file is 6088090. Without the ID... File 6088090. Patrick Olson. Let's see what I can find in this file. Patrick Olson, a gardener. This man's profile doesn't really seem to be that of a criminal. It looks more like that of an ideal neighbor. His arrest report. He was with his family when they arrested him for the bombing of Rick's Cafe on the night of November 5th, 1933. A regular gardener without any record who blows up a cafe on 81st Street. Kind of odd. The report is just a bunch of pointless bureaucratic stuff. There are no details about the bombing.
Alright, well I think that's it for now. Thanks for watching, guys.